All right, boys and girls, this is Mr. O, and we are in the Matter 2 section of matter, which moves into states of matter and phase changes. And part of that is what happens when temperature is added or removed from matter, and how does the atoms and molecules react to that change. Today in class, we did a demo live for the students who were there. And if you were absent or if you were there and you wanted to see it again, I am here to show you what you missed so you're able to complete today's assignment that was based on that demo. First thing you're gonna need to do is find a piece of paper, okay? And when you get that piece of paper, or if you're going to get that piece of paper, pause this video until you get this piece of paper. Now, when you have the paper, you're going to take a pen, pencil, marker, and you're gonna make a simple T-chart, because it looks like a T, okay? And then on the one side, you're gonna write the word cold, okay? And on the other side, you're gonna write the word hot, okay? And then you're gonna make 3 rows, which if you did not know, that means you're gonna draw 2 lines. And then you're gonna write 1, 2, and 3 down the left side. Doesn't matter if it's the left side or the right side. Doesn't matter if it's cold or hot on either side. And then in each box, you are going to draw a box. These do not have to be perfect. These are simply meant for you to take observations as we do this quick demo. So it does not have to be perfect. Do not waste your time going to get a ruler, okay? And what this is going to represent, these boxes, we're going to have 2 graduated cylinders, okay? This is a graduated cylinder because it graduated college. It's a pretty smart cylinder, okay? And what it is, when we take our observations, we're going to stop it at the 1 minute, the 2 minute, and then the 3 minute marker, okay? And when we do that, we're going to draw what we see in these boxes. Now, I want you to imagine this box to be this graduated cylinder, okay? It's not meant to be stunningly difficult. Graduated cylinder is this box, so the top of it will be the top of the box, and the bottom will be the bottom of the box. I will tell you after 3 minutes, or each minute we have to draw, and when you do that, you're gonna draw what you see, and I'll explain what I'm seeing live on the camera. You can just pause the video and draw what you see, okay? So I'm going to start my timer in just a minute here, and I'm gonna put 6 drops of food coloring in this cylinder, okay? Now the cylinder, this one we're gonna start off with first, is gonna have ice, cold water with some ice in there. Okay, there's some ice in there, there's some water in there, making it really ice cold. Okay, and I'm gonna drop some drops in there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, people ask when crazy, I put 10 in there, 10. Okay, and I'm gonna start my timer. Okay, and I'm gonna hold the piece of paper here too to help you see this better. I will show you when you get up there, but we're gonna let this go for a minute, okay? And as you can see, the food coloring starting to descend down the graduated cylinder. Starting to, okay? It's really clumping in pretty well there. I'll bring it up closer to the camera in just a minute. We're almost at a minute, so you're almost gonna do your first drawing. So you're gonna find that chart you did on the left side where it says cold, in that number 1 box. We're going to draw what we see in just a moment. And I'll show you how to draw the first one, okay? And I'll explain what we're seeing. Okay, so after a minute, I'm gonna bring this closer to you. You can see that the food coloring is still just near the top. I mean, look how tall this is. This is maybe, I don't know, a quarter of the way down, maybe a quarter of the way down. But it's not on the sides either. You can see that they're still clear here. The blue is just in the middle, okay? So if I was at home doing this observation, I would be drawing something like that, okay? Because it's near the top, didn't cover the sides, and a lot of this is not even touched by the food coloring. And I'm going to start into the second minutes. So as we go, and you can start to see it, it's starting to descend now, right? You can start to see it's starting to come down, okay? A little bit further than it did. And I'll tell you when it's 2 minutes. And when it's 2 minutes, you're gonna draw your observations, okay? This is, remember, the cold. Cold, there's ice in here, there's water in here, it's cold. Remember, this graduated cylinder is full of atoms and molecules of H2O, okay? In this particular one, that has actually 2 states of matter in it because there's ice and water in there. So you have ice and water, same molecule, just in different states of matter based on temperature. We're almost at the 2 minute mark, and you're gonna be drawing your second observation, okay? Second observation's coming up. All right, here. Now I'm gonna bring it a little closer so you can see it. Okay, it's getting a little darker, getting a little wider, okay? It definitely came down a little bit. So that's about the halfway marker. So it's almost halfway down. Still nothing down here. Looking in here, it's almost getting to those sides, but not too much. Almost halfway down. Okay, I did mine about like this. All right. And then I'm gonna do the 3rd minute now. And we'll see what happens in the 3rd minute, okay? See how far it goes. But this is the cold. Make sure you're on the cold half of your paper, okay? These observations don't have to be done by like Pablo Picasso. These are things that you, like any other good science observation, something you can look back at later to reference and answer questions from and recall this experiment without having to come back to this video to watch this experiment, okay? We're nearing the 3rd minute, nearing it, okay? About 20 seconds away, and we'll take a look at what happens, okay? And this is interesting. I did the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th period, and this result of this cold water is different every single time, which is interesting. And now we are at a 3rd minute. Okay, I'll bring this closer so you can see. It's definitely has gotten bigger. It's changed shape, definitely. Okay. However, it's not even, right? I mean, down here, no blue. Up here, it's more expanded this way than it has gone down, really. And it's about halfway. It's about halfway. So this is your final box, okay? It's gotten wider, but it hasn't really gotten too much longer. I'm seeing something that looks like this. It almost looks like a tornado effect in here. There's like a tornado of blue in there. Almost looks like a storm, okay? So that's the cold water, okay? That's the dye in the cold water for 3 minutes. Now I have to find my hot hands. Hot hands, safety first, people, safety first. Okay. And I'm going to bring this bigger graduated glass cylinder up here. Glass, okay? This one's because it's hot water. I've been brewing some coffee without the coffee, which just makes it hot water. Okay. Okay, so we have hot water. This time we're gonna be working on the other side of your table where it says hot. Okay, you can tell it's hot. I mean, if you look near the top, this is condensation up here, which means it's starting to steam. Remember, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 degrees Celsius. So you're nearing, 10 to 20 degrees in that ballpark. If it's starting to steam, it's getting close. Okay, I'm gonna start my timer over. We're gonna do the same thing, 10 drops, because we did 10 drops in the other one, 10 drops in this one, and we're gonna see what happens. Are you ready? That was 10, okay. We're gonna start the timer. We'll see what happens with the hot. Okay, this is the hot. Seems to have quite a different reaction if you're seeing what I'm seeing. Help paper, that's the top. I'm gonna put that paper right here so you can see The cool thing about food coloring, it shows how the water's molecules are moving. You really can't see water's molecules moving very well in without the food coloring. The food coloring is kind of like the giveaway. It's kind of like when you see those movies when you see the sensors with the powder. You see these visible sensors. We're almost at a minute. Almost at a minute. Okay. Now, blue, 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 blue. Still a little bit on the bottom that's clear. Still a little bit on the bottom. I'll bring it closer. Okay, you can tell there's a clear on the bottom. That's all blue up top, so you're gonna draw your first observation with that. First observation. I would say it's about 80% of the way down, completely blue. Okay. I'll show you my world famous drawing there. Because it's pure blue coming down. Let's start the second minute. We'll see what happens in the second minute. I'll hold the paper up here for you. That bottom section, it's really neat. It's the top goes really fast. It's all turned blue within 20 seconds. Now this bottom is, as you can tell from the paper, it's not clear anymore. It's definitely blue down there. It's just not as dark blue than up here. So you have this lighter blue down here, but up here is a darker blue, which is quite interesting. That it's finally getting to the bottom. We're 10 seconds away from 3 minutes. So it's lighter on the bottom. Okay, it's not clear, that's not blank. The dye has gotten down there, okay? This is 2 minutes. Down here, there's dye down there, but up here, that's food colored. So you're gonna draw, you have to identify there is some color there now. So I did a little scratch like this to show that it wasn't as dark as the other one. Final 3 minutes, we'll see what happens. So it's just food coloring and water. There's no special tricks to it. Okay, this was hot water. The other one was absolutely cold water. Okay. You can see it's starting to get darker now though. So it's dark up here. It gets a little lighter near that bottom, but that bottom's getting darker than what it was. About 10 seconds here. Oh, there it goes. Kind of light in the bottom, but nothing like it was. And that's the 3 minute marker. You can tell that bottom got darker than it was. Okay, so I was doing my observations. I'm gonna put this down so it doesn't fall. I would fill my last observation in, and I would color it in pretty solid because it filled out. Okay, so I went from not having a bottom to scratchy bottom to clearing it up. Okay, now you're gonna use this data to answer that assignment in your Google Classroom folder for this week called Moving Colors Demo. All right, if you have any questions, Google me or email me. Hope all is well.